All right, DLS Wave, breaking news. Donald Trump, United States presidential candidate, just got shot. We heard it. I think it's all over the world right now. I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about it. If you haven't heard about it, then it means U.S. is sleeping, which is pretty normal because we got like different time zones.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
So, yeah, nobody really knows what's going on. Legacy media, not really like, up to par with the current situation on the ground because news is still trickling in bit by bit. So, yeah, what we know so far is that he's been shot. He got whisked off stage by the Secret Service, and I think the gunman got shot. He got shot.
Yeah, according to the FBI, they have identified the gunman.
And who is he? Any idea?
They've not given a full detail.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can we really start guessing though what the motive could be? I mean, why would anybody want to shoot at a presidential candidate like Trump?
I think it's political season. Anything like this is capable of happening. It could come from anywhere. It could come from some opposition party loyalist. It could come from somebody who just doesn't like him. It could come from the opposition party. You never know. All we know now is he's been shot, and it's unfortunate. No one should be shot. It should just be a clean campaign. Yeah, but it's happened.
Correct information is the guy has been identified, 20-year-old man from Pennsylvania.
I mean, about 20 years old. I mean, what kind of motive or incentive do you have to kind of like go out there and put your life at risk like that? You think it goes back to like mental health kind of?
Probably after some time, I think they will switch to mental health or whatever. But it has to do with their culture with guns. We have to be frank and say it has to be, and for years people have been campaigning for them to just try and put certain restrictions
on guns, right?
Yeah, on guns. But as a 20-year-old, what do you need a gun for?
Yeah. For me, tell me about the gun. It's like, what would the motive be, right? Why would you?
Well, with the motive, I think people hate without having. People choose to hate, and Trump. We also know, as much as people love him, there are people who hate him. And it's across board. You understand?
And it also has to do with political ideology as well. Like you're saying, the hate just doesn't come. It comes with some sort of following a certain ideology. So as long as you don't belong to my party or I don't subscribe to your views and opinions, you're my enemy. So anytime if I'm disgruntled about anything, I could bring that anger onto you.
Yeah, but that's crazy. Isn't that what democracy is supposed to be about?
Yeah, but
agreeing to disagree, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, some people don't see it that way. Some people think that as long as you don't belong to my side, I'll take you out anytime I have the opportunity.
So let me give you guys an in-depth information. He was shot and killed, but he fired about 8.
Oh, you have to specify who was shot and killed.
Is there a name?
No, they've not given a name yet. Okay. They've not given a name yet. But he shot. He fired at least 8 shots, and with the FBI back and forth, and then they shot him.
I mean, things like this, you just know that should be the end of your life. Because if you're talking about, say, the Secret Service, even if they don't get you today, they will get you 10 years later. So it's you just know that you're not coming back. You're not coming out of it. Because and we know the U.S., right, with their history with President Kennedy and all that. So you just know that if you're going in for something like this, you just know that that's the end of your life. Because
but that's what made me ask, like a 20-year-old kid. I mean, you have like your whole life ahead of you, right? Yeah. So what would give you this kind of like motivation or incentive to go out and do something this big? Because this is not small, man. This is big. This is like an assassination attempt. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Yeah. It's an assassination.
It's a very serious thing.
It's super serious.
Because I think it got his ear. Probably he was aiming for the head, and that would have been the end of it.
I don't think he was aiming for his ear. I'm like, I'm just gonna go out there and get this guy's ear, right?
No, he just missed.
I just think no matter how much you don't like someone, to the extent of taking someone's life, then there must be something going on in your head.
Mentally, right?
And if it's not a conspiracy and it's just an individual attack, then the victim was probably going through some psychological issues or just plain hatred for him.
It is quite sick to just
possibly hate somebody to that extent.
Maybe because of my background, I've not actually seen. I've seen a gun. I've held a gun before, but from my background, it took me 40 something years before I held a gun.
I've seen one at a distance. I've never even touched one.
But so I say to be 60 to just own a gun, not sickening own a gun, but like to pick a gun and say I'm going after him. You understand my logic? Because my background, we are coming.
No, because the thing is,
background.
I think you do not have access to it or easy access to it, so it would not even pop up in your head.
So anytime I see shootings and he shot him in the head,
it sounds so foreign to you, right?
Yeah,
I think it also has to do with the environment in which you grew up, right?
Yeah.
It is known that in the U.S., a private person can buy and register a gun.
Yeah.
For self-defense.
I think at the point there was I think Walmart was even selling guns.
Yeah, exactly.
Guns in Walmart.
They have gun stores and all that.
Yeah.
So you can buy and register it if you don't have a record, a bad record. But the thing is, if you grew up in that environment, like we didn't grow up in that environment, you would only see a gun, or the closest you come to a gun is when you see a police at a checkpoint or a soldier going. Even soldiers walking in town don't hold guns unless they have something to do with it. So if we grew up in that environment, we are not used to it. So if something bad comes to mind, that's not the first thing you are thinking of, getting a gun to hurt someone. But if you grew up in a society like America where everybody knows around the world that you can buy, register, and own a gun, then when you're angry or disgruntled about anything, you can shift that anger onto someone. And the best way you can do it is the only thing you know, the only way you know is to go buy the gun.
So you sort out your issue by just picking a gun.
I think it automatically makes
because of the environment. That's what happens everywhere.
I saw a documentary. If I get it wrong, audience, forgive me. I think Switzerland, they also have like a gun culture, right, where you can buy and own gun, but you cannot shoot. So if you go through Switzerland, they don't have records of killing each other, but individuals have guns in their homes.
I was about to say the same thing, that it automatically makes a coward somebody brave. It's like just get a gun and they get to shoot people.
Right.
Now, it's like at a distance, right? If you're really brave, you gotta approach people and do what men usually
in most
do.
countries, I don't know, even in Ghana, I don't know if it's 100%, but I think you can even own a hunting gun.
Yes.
If you can register and own a hunting gun, so when you kill somebody, they know who that is. In many countries, is there a hunting gun? Those pump action ones is acceptable. The machine guns, of course, the one that releases 20 bullets in a second, but to the point where you have pistols, and it's only known in the US.
I've seen videos where people on live videos, and they try to play with a gun and then just goes off.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. And it is part of their culture. Right? Every single year, the number of people that get shot and they still don't do anything about it. When you keep shooting, right? There are birds here. You keep shooting the birds and they finish. You turn your focus on something else. You understand?
Yeah.
So they keep shooting each other. Now the focus will go like, I don't like you. I don't like your energy. You're a politician. You do this. The way you talk, the way you rally people, I don't like it. Then the focus will turn on you. And that is what is happening. And it has been part of their culture. Kennedy.
Yeah.
The same.
Yeah, JFK.
You understand?
Yeah, I had like mixed feelings about. I think we're gonna play the video and you guys can check it out for yourself, right? So we'll be back in a minute.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
So me seeing that, I had like what you call like a moral quandary, right? I just do not know what to think. It was like the Secret Service was trying to like get him down, and then whisk him out, but then he had to get up and be like, fight. So I felt like, was that kind of dumb? Because I was just gonna like whisk away from my life, right? But he was trying to, I don't know if he was trying to look tough and strong, like, look at me, I'm not shaking, I'm still here.
Yeah, he gave the
So
fist.
do you think that was like dumb, or you think it was the right move?
I think he was trying to
motivate.
He was trying to send a message to his supporters that I still
okay.
stand. I'm okay, and I'm still in the fight. Because if he has to act tough. Mm-hmm. If you act weak, then it might sway people away and say, "Oh, you didn't even. It wasn't even so serious."
Yeah.
Not that it wasn't serious, but even though you were hurt, you still were thinking about you sending a message.
But if they were like subsequent shots, it could have gotten him then.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Actually, even just one shot could have taken him out.
Yeah.
I think he just got lucky.
He just got lucky.
Yeah.
He just got lucky because he was shot in the right. So he just got lucky, and I've read some articles already, and they were saying he needed to pick his shoes when they were trying to pick him up. So he wanted to get his shoes.
I don't know if that would
and
be
then
true.
after that, he gave the fist.
Why would a billionaire be wanting to?
Yo,
you
don't know the price of that.
No,
shoe,
that is
man.
the article. You don't know the price of the shoes.
Your ears will show you're thinking about his
You have
shoes.
no idea what people would do in that.
Yeah,
situation,
but he I think his action by showing the fist is like, to me, I consider it.
I still stand, right?
Yeah, I still stand. I'm lucky.
Yeah.
That is how I consider it. It's not being tough or something. He's just saying I'm lucky.
All right.
Yeah, because he was lucky.
All right, I think we just got to leave it there because, like we said, we do not really know what's going on, and even the legacy media has no idea what's really
but it's
transpiring.
sad,
Information is trickling in one by
Sickening.
one, but I feel like what does that say about like democracy in general when people get to kind of like do stuff like that because of lack of like you said, restrictions and laws on guns? Does this really make people be like, oh, we still want to be a democracy, right? Because it's like it's the best form of governance. Because like I say, it's nothing new, right? It's been going on since when? JFK days. Like people had guns, they were still shooting up theaters.
I've always believed in freedom, right?
Yeah.
I believe in freedom of speech, freedom of almost everything, but there should be limits.
Yeah.
And until we start to learn that, listen, I want my freedom, but I need my freedom ends here, then things like this can be controlled to some extent. You understand? Because everybody has the right to go to a rally, right?
Yeah.
There's security checks, but you cannot check everybody.
There are guns that are as small as pens.
Exactly.
Nowadays.
And like I was saying,
happened in Japan too, right?
yeah,
Remember
you saw how the guy walked.
Yeah.
He walked
Shinzo Abe.
very
Shinzo
close.
Abe.
Yeah.
He walked close and then gave
And
it
it
to
was a
him.
homemade gun.
Homemade.
He
That's
didn't
why
buy
people
it,
are
so,
very intelligent these
It was
days.
like 3D created or
Printers.
something.
Yeah.
He made it at home.
People are very intelligent already, but because of current technology, it is making things easier for people to get guns or weapons, to create weapons
Yeah.
that can be used at any given time.
Yeah.
So.
Very unfortunate. But I think we have to also, looking at the footage, I think we have to commend the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Because for me, the speed with which they gathered around was impressive. Once he held his ear, I could see like 5 of them jump onto the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think because of what happened in their history, it's not the first. Kennedy was not the only one.
Yeah.
Washington was killed,
Yeah.
and then Kennedy as well. So it's made them very, very. And like I was saying, you just know that if you do something like that, they're going to take you out. So it's you're not coming back.
Yeah, I mean, just like those guys, like there was a lot of like conspiracy theories during those days, right? They still kind of like linger around.
And things,
things
But I feel like it's gonna, I feel like it's gonna happen the same way, right? There's gonna be a lot of theories around this shit, but the thing is, 2024, 23. I feel like these things should not be happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They should not be happening. I mean, there are a lot of ways to kind of like talk about your grievances. So like you're saying, if you have like if you're disgruntled, you got a problem with people, there are ways to kind of like go about it. But I don't know.
You've given people weapons to use it to vent their frustrations.
Yeah, that's you got a point. Yeah,
it's easy for them to grab a gun. So if I'm frustrated and I cannot express myself, maybe talk to someone or speak out, the best possible way is to. That is how their thought process are. I will not do it, but it's like, okay, let me just go shoot somebody because it's part of their fabric. So it's sad. It's sad. It's very sickening.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump is Trump. He has his lovers.
Yeah, it's like
but-
ideologies, it's
but-
theories,
but-
it's
but,
like, you know,
I mean, trying to.
mindset.
Then I saw the Japanese one. I was like, man, what is this?
That's just
Yeah.
dumb. That's
It's
just
dumb,
stupid.
man.
I think now people are gonna look at it a bit differently because he survived. But imagine if he'd actually kind of like, you know,
Wow, it
been
would have been.
shot.
to-
Yeah,
that would have been-
that would have been
huge.
like a really big hit to democracy in general. So
And then that's all. Let me just chip in this last one. I was just thinking, this has happened in the U.S., which has all the structures, the security to deal with it.
the security apparatus.
If it
yeah.
had happened in the so-called third world countries, clearly it's going to be blamed 100% on the opposition.
Yeah.
The other party.
Oh, easy.
And can you imagine what could culminate from that?
Yeah.
It's just people are just going to be fighting on the streets. Oh, you killed our candidate. This
Yeah.
is that. So it sets a bad precedence, and we just hope that it doesn't repeat itself
Yep.
anyway.
So I
Wish him
think-
a speedy recovery.
Yeah,
to
I think in the next coming days, I think we're gonna get a lot more news, a lot more updates from the legacy media, and then possibly we might come back here and I don't know, share our views on that update as well. So yep, until the next episode, DL is out.
Peace out.